what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, we got an update from the IFBB Pro League official Instagram page. Now, they've been doing this after some of the bigger shows, and I think it's a really valuable thing that they do here. So what they've been doing is Tyler Mannion, who's the vice president of the IFBB and NPC, and also the head judge at most of these bigger shows, he posted kind of a breakdown of why they judged the show the way that they did. So he posted one kind of giving the reasoning for the Arnold Classic placings, and one of the reasons why I think this is so valuable is the competitors have something to go off where they can actually make improvements and changes their physiques based on this judging feedback here directly from the head judge. So let me roll some clips for you here because I thought this was pretty interesting.
So first we'll go over the top two, Hadi and Samson. Now, normally at a lot of shows, I would go pose by pose, but at this show, we don't really need to go pose by pose. Hadi had a pretty clear victory this past weekend. It was probably the best overall Hadi that we've seen when it comes to size, fullness, muscularity, and especially conditioning. Hadi was on point both nights. Extremely striated and extremely full. It's the best package that we've seen from him for sure. So when it comes to Hadi's physique, what does he need to work on going towards the Olympia? Hadi can still use a little bit more overall to his legs. He can still use more overall to his quads. He can still use a little bit more size to his side leg. These are things that he needs to bring up when bigger competitors get close to the conditioning that he's in. He can also use a little bit more fullness to his chest. As you can see in these poses next to Samson, he doesn't have quite the fullness and the roundness to the chest. His is a little bit flatter, but it's extremely conditioned, as you see the striations all through the chest. But it can definitely be fuller. These are all things that he can work on to really try to come back and make a statement that he's undeniable at the Olympia. Now, in second place, we had Samson. When it comes to Samson, he needs to get to that next level of conditioning. He's pushing towards it, but he has not quite nailed it yet on stage. This is the thing that he has 2 weeks to work towards in the UK to make a big improvement on that. Now, in third place, we had Rafael Brandao. I think he was probably the surprise of the show for me, as the year off really did him well. Everything on him improved. He grew, but stayed extremely balanced and kept an extremely small waist. Now, on Saturday night, we even put him next to Samson because we wanted to see how close he truly is to that next level, that upper tier of bodybuilders. And I would say that he's definitely pretty close. Right now, you can see the difference in size and density, when he was standing next to Samson. And of course, that goes for, he's going to be standing next to other guys that are bigger. But he really held his own. He looks like he's another year or two away from doing exactly what he just did and continuing on that path to being extremely dangerous. And one of the reasons why he's extremely dangerous is because for a bodybuilder, this is very rare, but he has no weak poses. As you guys see, we judge both nights, and we judge both nights based on what we're seeing. Akeem was in 7th place on Friday. He didn't nail it. He was definitely off, and everything wasn't really just put together for him on Friday. So he was behind James and Anton on Friday night. On Saturday, he came out, and his conditioning was completely different. This transformed his physique, as Akeem is a very big guy. So when you look at Akeem with John, in my opinion, other than the 2 back poses, Akeem beat John in all 6 other poses. Akeem also went ahead of Anton, and he also got ahead of James on Saturday night. So Akeem was a clear 4th place on Saturday night. However, because of the scoring on Friday night and how far John and James both were ahead of him, he was only able to jump from 7th to 6th.
So the first thing that I thought was pretty significant here directly addresses this conversation of how close was it between Samson and Hadi. And the head judge here essentially says it wasn't close. He even says we don't even need to go pose for pose and compare this like they did for the Olympia because the difference was so great. Samson was just losing this right off the bat. And he said Hadi looked so good at prejudging and finals, there was really no question. Which is exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what Hani was saying. That's exactly what most people that I talked to were saying. after prejudging, after finals, it seemed like really pretty much a slam dunk for Hadi Choopan, just based on the difference in the level of conditioning. And Tyler also says that's the main thing they were looking for from Samson, is to really bring that conditioning to the next level. And up until this point, he still has not been able to do that. So they thought he was a very clear second place. Although, Tyler also addresses another thing that I talked about in my video, which is Samson versus Rafael. There were a lot of people making a strong argument that maybe Rafael at finals could have even been as high as second if they wanted to see more comparisons with Rafael and Samson. And Tyler even kind of says in his wrap-up video that that's what they were thinking about at the judging table too, and they were trying to do more comparisons of Rafael and Samson because Rafael was impressing them so much. So it looks like that was also something that the judges saw here. And Tyler also talks about the Akeem thing, how Akeem improved so drastically that he was in 7th at prejudging based on his score. And then by the time, finals came around, he had improved his conditioning so significantly that the judges had him in 4th, and the average of the two, just because he was so low at prejudging, only let him move up to 6th place. So that kind of explained the way those call-outs started to go at finals. I know confused a lot of people, and I had a lot of questions about why did Akeem end up in a call-out with Hadi, Samson, and Rafael, but still placed 6th. So Tyler gives the answer to that, which is also kind of the answer I gave in my video. So I think this is really good that the IFBB has started doing this and clears up really any questions or anything the athletes might want to know or use for their next competition. I think these are a really valuable tool in doing that. And I think that what people are going to be really excited to see, myself included, I am really interested to see this type of wrap-up style video for the classic physique. Because I know that that was a big upset decision. I know that that was kind of a controversial one, even though I think it was the right decision. I think Wesley deserved that win. But I would like to hear the judges' perspective on how much Wesley improved from the Olympia, why they thought that, or what area they thought that he improved the most in that really led him to this victory. I think it was probably conditioning. But I also want to hear the judges' perspective on what they thought about Ramon's physique. Why did they think that he didn't deserve to win this? What did they think was different? Where did they think he went wrong? How did this look compare to his Olympia look where he was runner-up? I'm very curious to hear their perspective on those types of things with Classic because that was a close decision. It was a one-point decision, and that was one that I think the judges' perspective would be really valuable. Speaking of which, Ramon put up a video where he kind of addresses his loss here, and he says he's more motivated now than ever to come back even stronger and better than ever. And I've seen a lot of people say, the Brazilian fans, and hopefully maybe some of you guys can explain this to me. They were saying that Ramon, only prepped for 6 weeks for this Arnold. Now, maybe there's something that's getting lost in the translation because I don't understand why that's the case, but I've seen a lot of people saying that. I don't know if he was sick, if he was injured or what. But he was on the competitor list when it first came out, so it's not like he was a last-minute addition to the show. So I'm not really understanding why for the 6-week prep thing. But even so, I still don't think that Ramon looked bad here, and I still wouldn't even say that Ramon looked off. I just don't think he looked as good as he looked at the Olympia, and I think Hani said it best in one of the videos that we did. It wasn't that Ramon was that bad or that far off. It was more about the fact that Wesley was just that much better and had improved so much than it was about Ramon slipping. So I think the argument is that Wesley improved way more than Ramon potentially slipped here. So in other words, it's not so much an indictment on Ramon as it is a compliment to Wesley. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about Wesley Visser's winning the Classic Physique portion of the Arnold Classic. Now, next up in the news, we know that the Arnold Classic UK is just under 2 weeks away, the 15th through the 17th of this month. Now, Hadi and Samson both posted kind of like a congratulatory picture with a congratulatory caption, and Hadi commented on Samson's post, "Brother, you are a hard-working athlete and you have always progressed in the best way. I am happy to have a good friend like you. I love you, my friend." Then the interesting thing about this is that the Arnold reposted this, and said these two athletes are going to go head-to-head once again at the Arnold Classic UK, which is what I thought as well. I thought it was already locked in, but according to Hani Rambod, apparently it's not 100% yet, because I guess the Iranian visa is such a difficult and tricky thing, regardless of what country he's going to from Iran. I guess it's never a 100% sure thing, so I was surprised when I was talking to Hani to hear him say that they don't know for sure whether or not they're going to be there, because it's 2 weeks away. And bodybuilding season is officially back. It's going to be just bang, 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 week after week. You've got the Arnold UK, then you've got the Detroit Pro, you've got the Arnold South America, you've got the New York Pro, then you've got the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, all just in the next couple months. But I, for one, really do hope that we get to see a rematch between Samson and Hadi. Samson and Hadi number 3. Although Hadi has already won 2 out of the 3 head-to-heads that they've had, maybe Samson will look different at the UK show. I even heard a rumor, and again, this is totally just a rumor at this point, that Samson may be looking for a new coach. And it is kind of interesting, if you look at both of their Instagrams, neither Samson or Milos have really posted anything about or with each other since the results have been announced. And I think Milos is a really good coach. I mean, look at what he was able to do for Samson at the Olympia. That was pretty impressive. But it is kind of compelling that they haven't really posted with each other at all since the results have been announced, because it was kind of a rough night for Milos. I mean, he was also coaching Horse MD, and Horse was second to last, completely out of the conversation. Despite, he is a really nice dude. I said this before. I met him backstage, and you couldn't ask to meet a nicer pro bodybuilder, a more down-to-earth, like really humble dude. Horse was great, but certainly that might be the placing that surprised me the most, was him placing as low as he did. And then his other athlete, James Hollingshead, while he was able to take a top 5 placing, he placed 5th here. I really thought it was a kind of a weird look with the midsection. I'm sure I saw a lot of you guys in the comments saying the same thing. But James's midsection was like really cloudy. It was really hard to see his abs. His conditioning was good, but definitely not the same as what we saw in the pictures going into the show. I don't really know what to make of that version of James. It definitely wasn't, I think, what a lot of people thought we were going to see. And then Samson coming off stage with 2nd place. I mean, he looked pretty upset. He looked pretty pissed. I mean, and of course he's not going to look happy. He just lost his Arnold Classic title. He wasn't able to successfully defend, so I don't expect to see him walk off stage, you know, smiling. But it was maybe kind of a rough night for Milos, and maybe this does kind of change up some coaches here. Anyway, I don't know. That's just speculation, though. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about everything in this video. I thought the judging part was very compelling. Let me know what you guys think about that. And we look forward, I guess, to seeing the classic physique breakdown of why the judges felt the way they felt about that outcome. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NICKS&P, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my 3rd YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.